Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a Kickstarter preview for
OrcQuest Warpath,
coming from Monolith Games, and
Resurrected.
there are a few caveats we need to stick at the front of this video. First off, this is a sponsored preview video. We're doing our best to bring as much attention to this project as possible, because the second caveat that we should let you know about is that this is rebirth for a reason. This is coming back from the dead. Monolith, who is a established publisher, a publisher that I'm perfectly happy putting my name beside, saying they do quality work, quality production, and are really, really taking the bit by the horns on this one and bringing OrcQuest to the bit by the horns. It's like when the bit in the nose gets caught in the horns.
But that's, yeah, okay.
They're taking the bull by the snout.
Yes, good.
And they are bringing OrcQuest to an audience that actually pledged for it back in 2018.
That's right, yeah. So 2018, originally Maze was the company that created this after creating the OrcQuest card game. They then, for their second campaign, went all out and did this amazing, really huge campaign.
Well.
Yeah, $330,000, like over
2,500 backers who were excited to get this, and everything was going well.
It was going very well.
It was going very well.
Yeah, and then the pandemic happened, and while they were trying to deliver everything before 2019, it just didn't work out that way. And then once the pandemic hit and the shipping crisis started and things got significantly more expensive, they finished the game. They got it completely done, but they didn't have enough money for production. This is a
finished copy of OrcQuest we have sitting in front of us. There are still some things like the inserts for the box and stuff that are being finalized, but we literally have a playable, complete, every scenario copy of OrcQuest in front of us.
Yep, all the expansions, everything.
And when they realized they weren't going to be able to, well, fulfill, and they didn't want to do what a lot of companies have done, which is gone back and charged an arm and a leg, trying to just scrape together enough to maybe get it on boats.
Yeah.
They started looking for partners who could help and support them in this process, and Monolith stepped up. They were interested in the game. They thought not only the miniature SKUs and the production that had been put into it were unique, but also it as a concept. It is a standalone game system with something that they thought they could bring to a brand new audience of people. And so that's where we are. That's where we come in here. And I have to say, OrcQuest is doing a lot of cool things.
Yeah, it's doing some really different, very interesting things, like how you load a room, the way that the card play works with the different types of things you can do. You can actually do combo moves, so if you do attacks twice, you can do 2 different combo moves after that. The way they charge for actions is actually pretty unique as well.
The way the story actually interweaves with itself, with all these little side quests based off the expansions that you get, because we all know you're going all in on the expansions when you decide to back this. They have a lot of cool stuff going in here. So, our goal for this video is to give you a good overview of what OrcQuest is, what it has become, what it is offering to you, and then finally to redirect you over to that Kickstarter page to take a look, to see if it's something that you want to support. Monolith, in my opinion, is selling this at a price I don't know that we see in our industry. I think it's $135 plus shipping for 2 massive boxes. You saw the size of these things. That's going to include the expansion and this. And their goal or their necessity is to hit $200,000.
Yeah, and if it's not $200,000, the campaign doesn't go.
When they hit that, and here's what's cool. You're going to get it for an aggressive price. But when they hit that, they're also committing to going back and delivering everything for all the backers that pledged for it originally. So all those people are getting their product. They just have to cover shipping.
Yeah, which is like $27 or something like that.
And they're going to be working to get all this stuff to you as quickly as possible, because Monolith now has a brand new pledge, I believe, from what I've seen in the updates.
Yeah,
they're coming to crowdfunding projects, coming to crowdfunding systems, ready with a game to deliver. And so this is refined, ready to hit print as soon as they have the funding that they need to make sure it's going to happen. All right, let's give them an overview. So let's break down the cool stuff that's happening here in OrcQuest.
Sure. So the basics of the game are you are orcs, and you are on this quest.
I like it already.
And you're going to be fighting humans. You're going to be fighting potentially pig people.
Pig people!
Different types of dwarves. All the people that you would normally play as your characters, those are the ones you're going to be fighting in this go-round.
You do have a preference for playing pig people when you play games.
I do, yes. I like them to oink when I hit them. Or when I squeal and hit something else. But the Some of the other interesting things about this game are the pathing concept. So you're going to have your turn where you're able to take a certain amount of actions based on the cards that you have in front of you. And then once your turn is completed, and we'll go over more about that, how that works, but the unique thing that I think is going on here is the pathing part during the enemy phase. So not only is it that there are enemies on the board that you're going to have to work and fight against, but you're actually going to have a pathing concept where you'll be flipping over a pathing card, and then those people who are on the patrol are going to have to go through the path following this area here, and if they see anyone, then they hit the alert, and then they start trying to bring more people into the battle.
It's like a dungeon crawl with a bit of AI that's allowing you to play subterfuge up until the point that you take a bronze axe and slice someone's throat open.
Exactly.
Really, it means they can run into you and you get more people to murder.
And our hope here, and my hope when I'm playing the game, is that I just want to kill things as quickly as possible. But that's not always you're not always able to do that because they just get so big.
Well, they get giant, and it depends on the character that you're playing as well. Like different. This is going to have your classic classes when you think of like an RPG or a D&D.
Yeah.
But they're all going to be orc based. And so they all have a little bit of that barbarian nature to them, right? Even some of your more sleuthy classes have those moments where they just feel brutal.
Yeah.
And then people like Oris here, he's just muscles.
Yeah, he's just a warrior.
He's just muscles. And you ever hugged like a grandfather that's been working out his entire life, like 89 years old, but still hard as a rock?
Yeah.
Kind of loose skin, but there's muscle underneath.
Yeah.
That's all Orcus is.
For sure.
Except he doesn't even have the loose skin.
It's all tight.
Just very tight skin, and he's still 89. Yeah.
And they'll also bring in some of their friends like the goblins here. And this would be kind of more of your thief concept. You've got
a hobgoblin here, which is going to be a little bit more of your mage.
Yep. And then you'll finish off here with that classic ranger firing arrows into the wounds of their enemies.
And each character is going to have their own unique pathing, their own unique upgrades, their own unique set of cards. Like, you're going to be getting gear and slowly perfecting who they are and how they play.
And this is set up as a campaign, basically, with 10 different stories that you'll be going through different levels, so to speak. And then there'll be quests within each story that you're going to be trying to complete. Sometimes there'll be multiple quests within the same story, but the goal is that by the end of the 10th major story that you're at, you're going to be fighting that final boss, and it'll be a very satisfying ending to everything that you're doing.
And I think with the quests, especially as you start mixing in some of the expansion content that adds in these other little modules, there's actually going to be a significant amount of replayability.
Oh, definitely.
I love large campaign games. I do. And this standing at 10 full chapters in the base game's story arc doesn't make this one of those beefy campaign games. But what it does make it is a campaign game I actually might be able to set up and play over the course of a few sessions with some friends, which is important for a game like this, which is all about exploring the different upgrade pathways, the different types of brutality you can take, and the different ways that you can approach each chapter. Like you said, there's going to be variability with how creatures are set up. We'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
There's going to be variability with how they actually move around the board, and there's going to be variability based off of the different quests and different objectives you actually complete as you move from section to section.
Exactly. One of the interesting things that we've kind of touched on here was how you will explore a room. So when you open a door, which unlike Zombicide and things like that, you don't need anything. You're an orc. You're going to open a door. A door will not stop you.
I actually think as you walk past them, your just odor
just probably pushes them open.
To open doors.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's a cleanliness thing they've started doing in the Orc Kingdom.
Yeah, that's probably
your god. What is your god's name again?
Badass.
Badass just happens to hate doors.
Yeah, he's not a big fan.
Pits go up, doors go up.
Exactly. So
say pants go down. Pits go up, pants go down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a whole different.
Sometimes you got to wash your butt, right?
And then you look and you go, "That's a badass." And then you pray.
A little, just a little.
Yeah.
You don't want to stop fighting for too long.
No, not for too long. The ass wouldn't appreciate it.
Whenever you're starting in a new room and you're exploring, you're going to set up your little piece here to the size section of the room. So let's say our room was roughly this size.
Yep.
And then we're going to drop our dice into this room. So you just drop them, and it doesn't matter what colors you use or anything like that. But what you'll see now is that you'll just locate these dice in the areas where they are, and then this will correspond with cards that you flip over, which which will tell you what is in that actual room, whether they be which different types of monsters will show up in the room based on these different pieces that come across.
So instead of having a set of cards where you're flipping and summoning them based off that, you have this system which not only gives variability to the type of creatures that might pop out, but also, and this is the part that I think is so cool,
where
they're going to pop out.
Yeah,
I think that's
really
neat.
cool.
It's a simple and straightforward way to change the algorithm of the game. You might have two people hiding behind the door. You might have them all huddled in the back of the room, like having coffee or tea. They could all be like perfectly positioned for you to snipe them. I don't know, but this, I just think it's such kind of, and I'm gonna say this because it is OrcQuest.
Yeah,
it's such a stupid, simple mechanic.
It is.
Feels really good.
It does feel
good. And I don't know why other games haven't. I don't know of another game that has done this, and I don't know why. Because it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, and it works with itself as well. So let's say that you popped up one of these humans next to the door. Well, you've busted that door open. Well, guess what happens to this human? He gets shoved to the side, takes a point of damage, and then he turns around and goes, "Hey, what the heck, man?" And then you start your battle in that way.
You apologize.
It's just, it's so easy to think about, and it makes it simple, which I really like. One of the other things about combat here, which I think is really unique, is how they've worked through that combat system. You're going to have your basic dice, which are your white dice, which will give you the option to have defensive skills, the lowest level skill being yellow, moving up to orange and red.
But your real goal is to get to a point where you have no defense on any of your die, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to push as hard as possible.
Theoretically, you want as little defense as possible.
Well, but when you're rolling against the other character, so you're rolling their defense, your attack, and badass dice all at the same time.
I'm saying strong preference.
Oh, you always want to 100% make sure that you are
fully exposed.
I mean, yeah. You like to play auras, so
that's true.
You're bare chesting it all the time.
I'm messing up his clean line of approach by
all good. I
inserting my bare chested, be as barbaric as possible humor.
But let's say you're rolling things across you have the option of rolling the weaponry that you have. So in this particular option, you'll have one gray dice and one white dice. So you'd be rolling those two attack dice. You will also have the option to roll a green dice, which will be your badass dice. So the dice from your god you can roll and get extra additional bonuses. And then you could potentially roll for the person that you're fighting against using their card and see what they roll. And then just in the same roll, you roll it all together at the same time, and then you clarify it off of each other.
Yep.
So yellow is the lowest thing you could possibly do, orange, and then red, and a orange attack gets rid of an orange defense and so forth. It's a really unique system. Because
a yellow attack would be blocked by an orange defense.
Exactly. Yeah. And a red attack beats an orange defense.
It's simple, but it provides structure to your classic kind of a merry dice rolling.
And beautiful structure because it's so simple. You don't have to math. And I don't know about you, I am terrible with math. So I just like to go, yeah, okay, that beats it. Fantastic. And then if whatever's left over, I know that it's X amount of points. So congratulations. I don't have to worry about minusing off this amount of defense, plussing this amount of attack. Like, that stuff drives me crazy. This is so much easier.
It's designed for the orcs among us.
It is. It's very true. The simpler ones among us will be very happy with this attack and defense.
I'm really enjoying this game.
Yeah. And, you also have your things that you have to be wary of and take care of, like your alert system up here at the top. You want to make sure that this stays as low as possible, but as you're going to continue to escalate this alert system moving forward and forward. And if you ever get to the point where your alert is all the way at the very top,
you get more people to kill. Oh.
Well, you
not
lose.
Quite that.
You lose a little bit, yeah. But overall, I think this is a really interesting game, doing a lot of really unique things, having a lot of fun with the genre, and kind of making it silly and fun and really easy to play, while still being good and strategic, which I think is it's something that's not easy to do in this space.
I think that's one of the big things for me is it's straightforward, but it's also. It's just fun to play.
Yeah.
Like, you can sit down, you can get it up. Like, it took us very little time to actually get this from out of the box, onto the table, understanding the rules, ready to sprint through this.
Absolutely.
And for a miniature-based skirmish game, a miniature-based dungeon crawl,
that doesn't happen very often.
See that very often,
especially with this unique set, these unique things, and the rule book. Mwah, whoever did that, great job.
He read the rule book, guy.
Great job.
Don't really read rule books.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Everyone should use that person.
That's a big
that's a huge
right
thing
now.
How
Like
many
they should
people?
just take your quote, rule book, chef's kiss.
Chef's
just
kiss.
West Todd at
Amazing.
Quackalope.
So good.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Reasonable. So this is OrcQuest. I honestly, if you're asking my opinion at the end of this video, I think this is a really cool game. I also think it's really cool that Monolith is taking the time to not only help a company who wanted to deliver, who continued working, continued producing, finished their game, but also they're helping the couple thousand fans that had their money invested and wanted to see a product actually come to light. I really selfishly, outside of doing this video, working with them, anything like that, I hope this works. I hope this succeeds. I hope this is one version of a path towards stabilizing and delivering and working together as a community to get really cool things to people's hands.
Absolutely.
We've seen other companies do this with Youthia this last year.
Yep.
There's been some major projects that I am very grateful that our community cares enough to try to get them to people. And I am under no impression that Monolith is like, I honestly think Monolith is taking a pretty major risk on this. This Kickstarter has to be successful. Then they deliver. The margins are going to be super thin. I don't think they're going to be making a ton of money off of this, if anything.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, everyone needs to love this, which clearly they do, because they're banking on the fact that you'll enjoy this enough that they can come back for a reprint or an expansion or something in the future. That's just my gamble. It's not information I actually know, but they are betting that this is going to be a success. And I'm excited about that.
I honestly think that there's a really great game here that has a lot of fun aspects to it that needs to be seen by the community. So I'm hopeful that it does get off the ground and they can do that final delivery.
So if you're interested, if you're excited, go support him. Go kick him some bucks. And even if you can't, just because we like seeing good people do good things in our industry, leave a comment down below. Just say, good on you. Good on you, man.